What up, gang? Rolling right on to the next video. This one is going to be coming from Hello Yassine. Chris Brown deserves this failure. I did see an article online yesterday where he's being sued for 13 M's. Apparently one of his housekeepers was attacked by a dog of his, and it left her pretty much disfigured and everything. And so the judge looks like they awarded her the settlement. It just sucks, man, that this is happening at this time. But this would explain why this nigga is going on tour. He just did a tour last year for his first album, and now I think he's touring with Usher. So he got to make that money back somehow. But yeah, let's see what this is talking about, y'all. Let's get to this video.
What's poppin', y'all? It looks like bad news seems to follow Chris Brown because an incident from 2021 has come back to haunt him, and now he has been forced to pay $13 million by the court. All of this happened already. This wasn't a default judgment, and frankly, he deserves it. So this incident happened with him and one of his housekeepers, really a housekeeper and his dog, and he would warn the housekeeper not to go near his dogs. He's got some savage beasts, it seems like, at his crib.
Chris Brown claimed on the stand Thursday that he had warned Avila and her sister not to go outside without asking him first. He claimed he told the woman in English that the dogs are not friendly.
So that's what we doing, Chris. That's what we doing, man. We just getting people to clean our house that can't speak a lick of English because, what, you paying them pennies to do the work? Come on, man. That is no way to handle business. Get you somebody who can speak English and understand what it is that you got going on. They know the rules of the game. And now you down 13 M's playing around.
The lawyer said the woman was Spanish speaker, so if the conversation took place, which the woman denied, they would have not understood him. In her lawsuit, Avila says the large dog appeared out of nowhere and started tearing flesh and even burned from her face and arms as she screamed in terror and called out for help. She claims Chris Brown came outside, stood over her whilst talking on his phone, then fled the scene as she lay bleeding in the driveway. Avila says she needed emergency surgery and now suffers permanent disfigurement, nerve damage and vision loss. It attacked me on my face, my hand, and it pierced its teeth on my foot. I didn't see it, I simply felt it. It was something really big.
This is what I don't understand with people like this that have these type of animals at your crib, and you know you have the likes of your housekeepers, family members, even sometimes your kids. Why would you even have that type of animal at your crib to begin with? And then second, why don't you have it caged? Why wasn't this animal contained? Why was it being allowed to attack your housekeeper who clearly can't speak English? Why would you allow that? You know what I mean? It just goes to show you how sometimes having all this money and fame doesn't mean that you have common sense. You know what I mean? Because anybody with some sense would have known, look, let me make sure I got all my ducks in order. The last thing I need with my troubled history is to have an animal just running loose while my housekeeper's trying to do what they got to do. Because now I'm about to be down 13 M's. You know what I'm saying? And I understand nobody's perfect, but come on. Chris Brown and me are the same age, okay? We know better, my nigga. We know better.
Avila didn't see Chris Brown take the dog away. She said I only heard the car that left.
This is the only bail we could possibly cut Chris Brown, which is he warned them, hey, do not leave this house. This is a safe space. You're in a fortress. Once you go outside there, in another language, it's like a swamp. You're going to have gators. You're going to have things biting you that you didn't even know. Granted, now this lady is telling her side of the story, and she's saying that, well, I couldn't understand him. I only speak Spanish. And then she gets mauled. And just hearing the permanent disfigurement and the way that she describes the situation is she didn't even know. It's not like she saw a dog running towards her and got attacked. She just felt something huge attacking her, biting into her. And this must be a terrifying experience to live through. And now she's got permanent disfigurement because of it. She's probably never going to be the same. And Chris Brown, how he handled this situation afterwards is mind-boggling.
Chris Brown said he was about to take a shower when he heard the dog growling and rushed downstairs to investigate in 2020. He claimed he saw Avila on the ground, not moving, and secured the dog in a kennel as he yelled to a guard to get the F over here. He told jurors he bent down and got about a foot away from Avila to confirm she was still breathing. When she rolled over a short time later moaning, he saw fresh blood on the concrete, on her arm and on her face, he testified. When Avila's lawyer Nancy asked Chris Brown to describe the open lacerations on her face, the singer pointed to his forehead and traced a finger down his nose under his right eye. It was cut like severed. I know it's graphic, but you could see the skin was kind of raised. You could see the cut and the blood coming out. It was a lot of blood, he admitted, under questioning by the lawyer representing Avila's sister, a fellow housekeeper who was with her that day. The blood kind of freaked me out a little bit, he said, when his own lawyers turned to ask questions. Chris Brown said it was true he didn't call 911 because he didn't want the recording to get leaked and create a media circus. I mean, for goodness sake, somebody's bleeding. He also confirmed he never asked his security to preserve his...
This is the thing, too. Like, sometimes it just pays to be remorseful, pays to be Superman, and actually show that you care and not think about your artistry, your credibility, and stuff like that. I get it. Like I said, you've had a troubled history, you know, since that situation with Rihanna, but still, my nigga, like, show like you care. Like, don't just be down there like, okay, call this guard over here and turn over. Like, show like you give a damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, telling you, man, fame get to these niggas' heads sometimes. And to me, listen, make no mistake, I fuck with Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? His music and everything. He's a fantastic dancer, artist, actor, basketball player. I mean, he's a fucking mutant at this point when it comes to just talent. But that still don't take away the fact that you got to be responsible. With great power comes great responsibility. We all know that from Spider-Man. Uncle Ben, R.I.P.
Surveillance video from the incident, and he claimed it was his manager's suggestion that he leave the house before the first responders arrived. He wanted to make sure she was taken care of and to get me away from the publicity. What would have been the problem with you being there and waiting for paramedics to get there with the woman bleeding on your driveway? Why would that be a problem for you as a celebrity? Whew. Because of how my image is used, I don't want a misleading story or like a circus for my status. It's pretty sticky when it comes to that. So me staying away was advised. Didn't you think your reputation would have taken a bigger hit if you fled the scene? Says the lawyer. Chris Brown refutes it and said he did not flee, but he agreed he spent a couple of hours driving around and stopping at a gas station before he was advised it was clear to come home. Did you put your hand under her head, put a towel under her head, or your sweater under her head? Anything like that? I never touched her, he repeated. I'm in complete shock.
So this is Chris Brown on the stand under penalty of perjury, telling his side of the story. So we're not getting it from somebody else. And this was a civil trial, not a criminal trial. And they had apparently been asking for $90 million. And that's why he didn't want to do a settlement, because something like this is a no-brainer settlement. Even if it's a M, 2 M's, something like that, because the guy's at fault here. And what happens is this guy comes out, and this is where you look at Chris Brown, you're like, dog, is this even a human being? And I guess this is what fame does to people, because he sees a bloodied, battered employee of his, a woman, and he just goes in to see, and he's like, oh, she's still alive? Okay, I see some breathing. He says he didn't touch her. He didn't lay a towel on her, nothing. And then the first thing that he does is phone his management. I don't know who his management is, but he phones him. And
you know, I'll say this, and this may seem like I'm shooting him bail. I mean, I'm technically not, but to come to his aid, that might have been triggering for him. You know, seeing her like that, bloody, lacerations and stuff like that, for all we know, that could have triggered that moment when he was with old girl Rihanna way back when, and he just was like, I can't do this, or let me, you know, just get away from this situation. You know, that happens to people. You know, they have trigger moments and stuff like that, or they have flashbacks, and it just brings back haunting memories and moments. So that maybe could have been also a part of why he decided to just disassociate himself from it at the moment and let other officials and people deal with the matter before he was cleared to come back to his crib. That's at least my thinking. I could be wrong, but you know, these type of things happen. Still not making no excuses for him. You still should show some level of concern and be, you know, remorseful of the situation. But, you know, yeah,
And he gets the hell out of there and he tells his security, like, yo, y'all handle this. I'm going on the run. And he says, no, he didn't flee the scene. He just hopped in a whip, drove around to a couple of gas stations before the coast was clear for him to come back. This is the problem, too. She's bleeding out. You don't know if she's potentially going to die. But this is where his explanation is just so pathetic. And it tells you a lot about... listen, because I've tried to defend Chris Brown at certain times, especially with how people have labeled him, and they labeled him for decisions he's made at 17. Like, for instance, let's just take the Rihanna situation, which always comes up. With the Rihanna situation, the context was he was in a car, he was in a Lambo or something, driving really fast. She was hitting him and attacking him, and he's like, yo, I'm driving this car, I might kill both of us. So in a fit of rage, he somehow stops the car and... her very, very badly. Are we justifying this? No. But comparing that situation to this, which is a woman that was attacked by his dog that's bloodied on the floor, this is potentially worse, or it shows you in a worse character.
Because it's an animal. You don't know what kind of diseases it might have, illnesses. So now she's got to get tetanus shots and all this other stuff to make sure she's not infected with anything. So yeah, it is definitely 10 times worse than the Rihanna situation, for sure.
Because nobody agitated you. You can't say somebody agitated you. You can't say somebody risked your lives because you were in a car and you were going really fast and on the highway or the freeway. This was purely just a test of humanity. Like, what are you going to think about first? Most normal people, they see something like this, and it's not they just see a random person on the street. On their property, they see someone bloodied. They're like, yo, I got to call the cops or something. That's the first instinct. They're calling the cops. They're not thinking, oh, wait, hold on. Well, what if the paparazzi come? Because regardless, the report is going to happen that it was on your property. He's like, yo, he didn't want his voice on the 911 call because TMZ might leak a 911 call. What, they're going to leak a 911 call of Chris Brown saying, hey, look, there's somebody bloody. They were attacked by a dog on my property. We need help right now. How is that going to make Chris Brown look bad at all? If anything, this makes him look worse. Because regardless, the report comes out that Chris Brown, at his home, this woman was attacked by his dogs. So no matter which way you cut it, at least this way you look like a human being. And this isn't even something that you think about. This is instinctive. For most of us, I feel like we see something like this and we feel immense guilt because, hey, it's your dog that did this to her. So the whole thing goes on, and now he has to pay her $13 million. And frankly, I think this is fair because these dogs, these vicious, like the amount of damage that she suffered, she can never recover from. There's no amount of facial reconstruction surgery that's going to make her look like she did before. And these are his dogs. It's his property. You could, like I said, the only thing you could potentially say is he told her not to go outside. Why was she outside? I don't really know, but that's not even worth the defense because what we're talking about here is, and I believe this is why the jury cooked him on this, is his reaction to the entire situation. So now he has to pay $13 million. This was an inhumane reaction. This was an appalling reaction.
You know I might ruffle some feathers when I say this, but I am not a dog person at all. I don't do pets, period. I don't need something around me that's going to cost me money and not make me any money. I don't need something around me that's got to be walked, that has to go handle its business, and I got to wake up at all types of times in the morning. No. See, at least if you go and you have a child with somebody, that child will eventually grow up and go to the bathroom on their own. They'll get their own food. They can do their own thing. An animal, a pet, is like a child that never grows up, and they continue to cost you money. And then you have to deal with situations like this where your pet wants to attack people and now you end up in lawsuits. Like, you have to ask yourself now, are those puppies worth keeping? Those puppies just cost you 13 M's, nigga. Are they worth keeping? Absolutely not. They would be on the first thing smoking. Get out of my house because you just cost me $13 million. Get out of here.
Into the situation. Like, this just really goes to show you, like, does this person see these people on it? He doesn't even see them as humans, it feels like, the people that are working for him. He's like, okay, one of my cattle, one of my sheep has been attacked. Somebody go handle that. Make sure you take care of that. No, this isn't another human.
She's just happy to be in America, man. Respectfully. She's just happy to be in America. making good money, saying that she worked for Chris Brown and he was paying her whatever she was paying her, taking that money back to her family and supporting her loved ones, only for it to end with her having her face, disfigured for the rest of her life. I mean, yeah, you up 13 M's, but no amount of money is going to fix that. So,
human being that's working for you. So he has to pay 13 million. Will he end up paying 13 million? I don't know, because the game, he ended up getting, I think, like a default judgment for not showing up for like a $7 million SA civil lawsuit.
Definitely not getting 13
what
M's
he ended up
after
doing
taxes
was just
and lawyer
putting
fees,
all of his property, ownership,
fees,
everything that's worth any money into a trusted manager or family member. And now he has to live like that. He has to live like he has no money so he doesn't have to pay this woman. Chris Brown, he's probably going to go through all the appeals, all this other nonsense. I think Chris Brown has so much more money than the game that it would be difficult to execute something like the game. So I think they're just going to try to stall this out for as long as possible and then eventually just pay her maybe like a couple $1 million, which is sad, unfortunately. And this is the thing with dogs, man. And this is why I got a lot of respect for mailmen. I've got a lot of respect for landscapers. Anybody that needs to come to people's cribs where they've got these savage beasts running around. And you don't know if they're trained. You don't know if they're going to attack you. And what happens when they attack you is just an oopsie. Oh, my bad, dude. Okay, my bad, dude.
It's like them some big ass dogs right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, no.
For example, like Academics had this incident happen to him as well. Like the police approached him because his dog attacked somebody in his neighborhood.
We just got rid of the puppies. Okay. Female dog. Yep. So I let them out in the backyard. Okay. Just to pee and poop and all that type of stuff. And
I'll tell a story real quick. And rest in peace to my cousin Duba. But he was one that owned pets. He had two pits, India and Blue. And his whole purpose for having them was, of course, because he liked dogs, but then also he was breeding as well. And I just remember, coming to his crib out in PA and just the stench of the animals and them being on the furniture and their hair shedding all over the place. And my cousin had a nice crib. And I used to be saying to myself, like, why? Cuz I know you like pits and stuff like that, but why? You know what I'm saying? And I remember this one time, if my cousin ever watches this, his son, I remember when he was a little kid, he probably don't even remember this, or maybe he does, but we was outside in the snow, like how it is here. And Blue, which is the boy, the male pit, he accidentally knocked him down, his son. And my cousin got so enraged, he started punching the dog. Now, Blue wasn't like an aggressive dog. He was a punk. You know what I'm saying? And so my cousin just started like giving him haymakers, bow, 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 because of him knocking his son down. And he was asking him like, "Are you okay? You okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, see? Like, you cannot underestimate no animals. Sometimes that instinct is always there,
I guess some way, we still don't even see how. The female dog was a little skinnier, got out, and the male dog started chasing after her. She was following around. So, probably was like 5 minutes later, I found the dog on Pleasant. Okay. And, I guess the guy had him in the trunk. The guy got bit in the arm. Yeah.
One of the officers can be heard telling DJ Academics, "We got a report that your dog bit a guy in the arm down the street." Another officer adds, he says he was just walking when the dog came at him.
And lastly, is the male, he said the male bit him. Is the male up to date on rabies shots?
Yes.
You can get proof of that for me?
Now, Academics would later explain this situation after the body cam footage would surface, and he would tell everybody what happened.
Yeah, I think it's cold at that time. I let them in the backyard. They're supposed to just do their thing, but they're playing around, and really Princess is looking for her kids. He's like, "Where are my kids at, dog?" She gets through, because this is just law. I have a pool in the backyard, so you have to have a fenced around area around your pool. That's what it is. They get through the fence, or Princess gets through the fence because she was skinnier, And somehow she opens it, and Pluto is following her. And Pluto is following her because, again, that's his. They run over to the street. Now, this is why I tell everybody, my dogs are not the dogs you say, hey, that's cute, let's pet them. That's not my dogs. My dogs are, it's not that. A guy driving sees my dog. It's a white dude. He hops out. He walks over, and it's two of them, right? He's like, oh, we're you know, I don't know what he said to the dog, but he grabbed the female dog, and he was trying to put her in his trunk.
Why?
Right? He lives in the neighborhood, like, you know. I'm glad they don't show him because I wouldn't want his privacy. Like, they're putting him in the trunk. So my Pluto seen that and said, "Oh hell no!" So Pluto popped over. Damn. Thank God the dude had a trench coat. But it was the trench coat. When that happened, I was ready in my car because I'm trying to look for them because I know they got off my property. So I see the dogs, and then the dude hops out. And he's like, "Yo, don't go near them. They're mean." And I'm like, "Yo, it's my dogs. Chill, bro. Chill." Anyway, I put both of them in the car, and I talked to the guy. The guy was so friendly. The guy said, I have dogs too. The guy says, the white dude was mad cool. He said, he's like, "Yo, I did call the cops, but you could get out of here. You could leave. Just, I'm not on that. He's rich too, man. He's not like some broke. If it was a broke, he would have sued me for everything."
So here, you're just looking at, what did this guy do wrong? This guy was in the middle of the street, a negligent owner. Yes, if your dog was able to get out of your property, and these aren't dogs. When we think of dogs, we're thinking Air Bud, right? A golden retriever,
Beethoven.
Maybe one of Paris Hilton's little puppy dogs, toy dogs.
Not no goddamn Cujo, okay? Nothing like that, all right? He might even say it in this video. I don't even know. But yeah, nothing like that. You feel me? And what's funny, today, when I was dropping my son off to his mom's, I had my windows down and all of that. We was driving. And when we got over there to that side of town, I seen this like brown cinnamon colored pit. I don't know if it was a boy or a girl, but it had no leash on it. And it was just roaming free. I just drove right past that damn dog. I was like, hell to the no. Like, no. And I'm hoping that it had a rightful owner, but just the fact that you just out here walking around willy-nilly, ain't got no leash or nothing, nah, I'm not taking no chance. I wouldn't have hopped out anyway, but it's just, that just goes to show you the difference between us and them, respectfully. Like, they will just think everything is just, everybody loves me. Nothing has issues with me. No animal, no person. I'm just loved by everything. No, this is not a no.
Dogs. We're thinking of a safe dog, a dog that many Asian families would have just for fun. These are savage beasts. These are different. This is a different breed from dog. It's damn near a wolf. Oh, a wolf might be safer. I don't even know. Now I'm guessing with that. No. So the person sees the dog and he's like, okay, look, we're in a very nice neighborhood. Let me help this dog out. And then two savage beasts come running after him and one attacks him. And he handled this situation very nice. It seems like because he's a dog owner.
Yeah, he lucky, academics that is. He is very lucky that dude didn't press charges or take it a step further. Like he said, he was a rich man and it was his trench coat, so he didn't really probably feel it or suffer any bites. But yeah, if it had been somebody else that was really on that type of time, yeah, we would have been hearing this. We wouldn't have heard the end of it.
He was like, okay, I understand how it gets. I don't understand how it gets. Dog comes near me, I'm not getting near any dogs. And like some people are like, no, my dog's nice. Dogs. It's different from all the other ones. Listen, I don't care. Keep your dog locked up. I smell the stench of the dog in your crib before I even step in there.
Yeah,
but fair enough for academics is he took accountability for this situation, but this could have been a lot worse. What if this was a kid that was out in the street? And then this a kid isn't going to know better. A kid that's 8 years old, he's like, oh, look, it's a cute little dog. And then boom.
And see, that'd be my thing too. Like with my son, my son is on the spectrum and he's nonverbal right now. So I be thinking about stuff like that, him getting out and then an animal attacking him and stuff like that. So I'm just one of those dads that I am very cautious with my son. I guard him with my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that serious for me. You know, I don't play like that. I don't play with that at all.
The giant comes in, potentially kills the kid. We've seen so many incidents of these dogs killing children, mauling them. And you don't know, like I said, you don't know which one's trained. You don't know which one can attack on demand. And these dogs are trained to do exactly what they did to that woman. Because of Chris Brown, obviously he needs to have a lot of security. And dogs are the best security, especially for the price point. But unfortunately, the price point that you pay on the back end is a lot more expensive than the price you pay to get the dog in the first place. Hey, the dog and the training cost this much, but then all the liability that comes after is going to cost you a ton of money. So Chris Brown, I hope he coughs up at least $5 million. Like that lady, she has now had her face ruined. Like imagine how Chris Brown's career would be affected if his face was disfigured. Career's over, dog. Now, her career isn't the same. She's not public facing. She's not front facing. Her face does, but she's a human being. Like you see your face disfigured.
Yeah, and from what I read in reports, well, I didn't really read the reports, but I was watching a Anton Daniel video. He was covering this story. They were saying in the article of Fox that she can't even, her mobility has been affected. She can't even do housekeeping no more. So, yeah. It's over.
For the rest of your life, she is owed enough money to never have to work again. She's paid her dues, and I hope she gets it somehow, some way.
And hopefully, maybe she can, find a good plastic surgeon out there that can kind of sort of give, try to fix her face, restructure it to give it some of its original appearance. Hopefully, with that money.
Academics would give his
Matter of fact, he should just pay
what
for that
he feels
out of
Chris
pocket,
Brown should be handling the situation when it comes to people coming in and out of his home.
Don't ever bring no people to your house. I don't like bringing people to my house now.
Don't worry. You don't got to worry about
Everybody
me. I'm not coming to
your
your
God,
house.
Pluto's so cute. If you go near Pluto, I might slap you. Like, do not go near my dog. My dog don't wait for my dog.
Hey man, listen, I'm not gonna stop the video after this. I'm gonna let it rock out. But you don't gotta worry about me coming to your damn house at all. Okay? Once you tell me you got pit bulls, oh no, nigga or shorty, listen, meet me at such and such. We can go to a function, or you can come to my crib because you ain't gotta worry about pets over there because I don't need pets. If I want to protect my house, I can get some cameras and I can get that fire. You know what I'm saying? If it's that serious, you know what I mean? Go to the range and handle business. If it's ever going to get that serious, I'm not getting no pets. See, because I don't want nobody to end up getting hurt or anything like that I care about. Somebody try to rob me, that's different. They get what's coming to them. But no, pets, nah.
Feel what I'm saying?
I like this policy. This is how it should be. Now, granted, for Chris Brown, people need to come into his property to do the landscaping, to do the cleaning, to do all the other housework that's required. And frankly, for me, I don't care if the dog is nice, tiny, whatever. Have that thing locked up because it's dirty. Dogs are dirty. I don't want the dog touching me. I don't want the dog salivating or licking me. Keep your dog locked in its cage somewhere or put it in a room or just don't invite me. Frankly, don't invite me. I'd rather stay in the basement anyway. Or maybe we could link up somewhere else. So yeah, these gigantic savage beasts ruined this woman's life. Unfortunately, some people, I do think that you got some dog owners are insane. You've got some that will be like, well, he told her not to go outside. She should have known better than to go outside. And I do wonder what was her reasoning for going outside. Like, did she just want to get some fresh air or something? I don't know. But let me know what y'all think in the comments.
It's going to be the end of the video. Shouts out to him. Yeah. It doesn't matter whether he told her to go outside or not. First of all, she don't even speak English, so she probably didn't know what he was talking about or what he said. You know what I mean? So you shouldn't have had the animals just roaming about your property to begin with. They should have been caged, contained, so that this wouldn't have happened to her. And now you don't got to come out of pocket 13, 5 million, however much you're going to have to cough up. You know what I'm saying? You just got to move smarter than this. You know, at this point in his life, with all that he's been through and all the trouble that he's had to deal with, going in and out, being in and out of court, doing community service and serving time in jail, this is the last thing you need. Like, you just need to be on some chill shit. You know, do your tour, make your money, and go chill out. Do some art, do a movie maybe here and there, play some ball, and just chill. Like, I don't be understanding these niggas with money, man. They just be having the most craziest shit going on in their life. But y'all let me know what y'all think of this situation. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Make sure you check the like button, take the subway, and sound off in them comments till your asses get kicked out of there. That being said, it's your boy Robbie. Until the next video, we out.